Hi, my name's James, and this is Lost and Found. We are going to be embarking on a multi-year, say 5-year, I don't know, maybe 7, maybe 10, trip around the world. And we're going to be doing it in this 2026 Toyota Tacoma. It's got a 6-foot bed. For all of you Tacoma fans, it is an TRD Offroad. Now, the TRD Offroad model comes with actually one thing that I really wanted directly from Toyota, and that's a rear differential lock. Now, we have many different types of viewers out there. We have those that will immediately understand all the different terminology and key concepts. But today I'm going to actually explain a little bit of why I made the decisions why I did in order to build this vehicle. We're going to focus on things like comfort. I'm 51 years old. I'm not a kid anymore. And I'm telling you, I need comfort on long trips. I just do. Ask my back. Next, I need the ability to be off-road. Not just a little off-road. I want to go where people don't go. To get that, I need the right suspension. I need the right tires. I need the right wheels. And most importantly, in all of this, I need to be able to save weight. In other words, the heavier that this truck is, the more gas it uses. Now, Toyota Tacoma 2026 gets horrendous gas mileage. What does that mean? That means that I need to carry enough fuel to compensate for this 2.44 four-cylinder turbo engine operating just at not the way it really should technically. It's a gas vehicle. All you diesel guys, don't even talk to me about it. I would love to be running diesel. I'm in Canada. Unfortunately, in a Tacoma, I can't. In order to carry enough fuel, we have to have a second gas tank. Not only that, on top of the truck, we have to have 2 jerry cans. My goal is to be able to drive 1,200 kilometers on a single trip. And I think we're gonna get there. So let's go ahead and take a quick look, a first look at OSO. OSO, spelled O-S-O, is bear in Spanish. And that actually came from our beloved, incredible Cane Corso. He was my best friend in the whole world. He died a couple years ago. And so we thought, what an absolutely better name to use for him to protect us as we go around the world. Let's take a look at the truck. The front end may look stock from Toyota, but we have a green lane aluminum front bumper. Now, inside the bumper, underneath the license plate, is a winch. Now, a winch gives you the ability to pull yourself out when you get stuck. I've done plenty of winching in my off-road career, and for the most part, over the last 15 years, I've actually pulled myself out once, but I've pulled other people out dozens of times. Also, integrated within the bumper is a light bar. Now, when you're off-road at night, anytime you're out at night, if you're out in remote areas, you need as much light as you can get. And I wanted something very understated so we're not getting a lot of attention in different places we go. And of course, that's a Baja Designs front light, and we got the Baja Designs fog light kit as well. Remember, all of this, we're trying to make this look as stock, or as OEM, they call it, as possible. We don't want to grab a lot of attention. So to do that, we want to keep everything understated, you know? As opposed to a lime green Gladiator going through Nicaragua, how about just a stock looking Tacoma? It creates a different impression. Okay, let's take a look at the wheels and tires. Tires, we're going for a BF Goodrich KM3. This is a mud tire. It's a very thick tire. It's got a very thick sidewall, and what that does is it protects against punctures, but it also allows me to air down the tires very low, creating a larger patch contacting with the ground. This gives better traction. When we get into trouble, I'm running a Method 709 bead grip rim. Now, this has what's called a bead grip technology. What it is in simplest terms, is it allows me to reduce the air in the tire almost down to 0. I can probably run these at 5 psi without the tire coming off the rim. Now, why is this important? A lot of the times if you're stuck, sometimes there's nothing to winch off of. Sometimes you really just have to deflate your tires as low as they can go, such as in sand, and usually you can get yourself out. Next, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of our water. We have an 813 fabrication water tank. This is an external tank that sits right in the center of the truck. This creates a beautiful weight balance of the vehicle because, as you guys know, water's pretty heavy. That's, I believe, about a 40-liter tank. Now, inside the camper, there's another tank, and that's an Alu-Cab 50-liter water tank, giving us 90 liters of water. All of this is kept very close to the center of the vehicle to create a balance. Next, let's go over, take a look at the snorkel. Now, this is a K&N snorkel. Now, inside the engine bay, there is a cold air box. Now, most people think of a snorkel and they think of, you know, going through big rivers and underwater, and that is incredible. We are definitely going to be going over the hood in rivers and water in this vehicle. And what I think is even more important is the ability to get clean air. Think about it. You're driving on a dirt road. There's somebody in front of you. All this dust. All the dust settles and it usually goes straight into the engine bay. By having a raised air intake, it gives cleaner air running through the airbox and goes to the engine, and you're saving your engine and you're getting a lot more power out of it as well. We talked about fuel. If you notice on top of the vehicle, there are 2 jerry cans. Each one carries 20 liters of gasoline. Now, for the most part, we're going to try not to use those, but when you need gas, those 2 20-liter jerrys are going to become, they really are going to be a lifesaver. And if not for us, maybe for somebody else. On either side of those jerry cans, we have aluminum storage bins. One is full of rescue equipment such as a kinetic rope that is going to help us or other people get out of trouble. It's got a tree saver that you wrap around a tree so you hook onto the winch so you're not damaging the tree. All of our shackles in order to rig a system to be able to get us out of trouble. On the other side, we've got all the tools. Now, listen, admittedly, I'm not a mechanic. I studied, I'm a marketer. I've spent less time under the hood of a vehicle than you have. So the whole idea of buying a new Toyota is so that there is a lesser risk of breaking down. I'm not saying we're not going to break down, of course we are. But everywhere around the world, there are Toyota dealerships that this truck can go to. And everywhere around the world, there are always people that are willing to help. I know the basics, but I'm telling you, if something goes wrong, I'm not going to be the guy pulling out the tool set and working on my engine. It just never worked that way, so I can't pretend it's going to happen. Now, on the driver's side of the vehicle, today we can see it is super hot out. I'm telling you, with the sun. On the driver's side, we have a 270-degree awning. This is a Alu-Cab Shadow Awn. It's incredible for 2 main reasons. One is it creates a huge amount of coverage that goes around the vehicle and covers the back, so that we're able to get in and out of the vehicle in rainy conditions. However, the material is 100% UV blocking. Right now, it's only 10 a.m. It's probably only 26 degrees Celsius, but the UV, you can feel it. You can feel it. Underneath the awning, it is dramatically cooler. That's going to help us everywhere we go, whether or not it's in poor weather conditions or just stopping for a coffee under the sun. On the passenger side of the vehicle, we have another awning. This awning is a privacy area. It's pretty awesome. It's again made by Alu-Cab, and it opens up on 2 arms. and creates a personal space. Now this space can be used for changing. This is our space that we use for showering, and we also have a portable toilet. When you gotta go, but it's also really nice to have some privacy. Getting back to some of the armor on the vehicle. Now, a lot of you may ask, if you don't know about armor, why would you need armor? Now, underneath the vehicle, we have 2 aluminum plates. They protect the radiator, they protect all the steering components underneath, they protect the engine, they're protecting the transmission all the way back. Now, that's protecting definitely from just rocks coming up and just working their way into the system and causing problems. But as we go off-road, there are so many obstacles that can just slam your transmission. They can slam so many different parts of your vehicle that we just want a little bit of that protection. And it's actually super important. One of these days, at some point, I'm gonna get underneath the vehicle and I'm gonna show you what happens when we hit hard, and it's gonna be a dent under there, and then you'll really understand. Now, talking about armor, let's go ahead and take a look at side steps. Now, side steps are critical for not just getting up on the vehicle to get into the boxes, but these are actually rock sliders, meaning that we can go over a rock, slide on the rock, and not damage the vehicle. You'd be surprised how soft the metal is right here on vehicles. Going over a rock, it makes a pretty big dent. So the rock sliders are utilitarian, but they also really help us as we go off-road. Remember, every single piece of this is all about utility and weight. If I was building a vehicle to go away for a weekend, I would have built it differently. Now, everyone out watching this, have you been building vehicles? Have you built an overland vehicle? Comment in the comments. Let me know what you think of some of the decisions that I've made, because let's keep in mind, to overlanding more than a weekend, I am brand new. I will never claim to be an expert at it. Talk to me in a couple of years, but right now, I'm brand new. I'm pretty green. I know how to 4x4, I know how to do all my rescue and winching and all that. I've got a lot of experience, but for long-term overlanding, to make a vehicle into a home, I'm brand new. I'd love to hear. I would absolutely love to hear what recommendations you have for me, things that maybe I haven't thought of or that I haven't presented today. Let's talk about suspension. We went with a Dobinsons remote res suspension. It has a remote cylinder so that the oil within the shock, think about this, the oil within the shock, as it heats up, it has a remote reservoir to go into. That reduces the pressure in the shock. It cools the temperature of the oil, allowing the shock to operate more efficiently. Let's talk about your rebound. When the shock goes in, it has to rebound out. So we have a dial that we're able to turn, and we're able to change how quickly, or so how smooth that front end or rear end reacts to being compressed. It's super important, especially when you have this much weight on a vehicle. Now, we also have 2 different types of compression. Think about it. Let's say you go over a railroad track a little bit off center. You know that feeling of moving left to right? That is one type of compression. It's like a slow compression. What about if you're on the highway and you have to swerve away really quick? That's like a high-speed compression. Both different types of compression, we're able to go ahead with just with your hand and make that change so that it's safer, it's more comfortable, and quite honestly, it is just so much a better drive than leaving it directly from factory. Over here on the side of the truck, we've got what are called max tracks. Now, a max tracks is a plastic board with knobs on it. This is used to put underneath the tires when you get stuck, predominantly. We're going to use it for other things as well, as when we park and we want to sleep. What if you're a little bit lower on one side? Well, you put the MaxTrax, you drive over it, levels you up. But when you're stuck in snow, when you're stuck in sand, when you're stuck in mud, or when you need to bridge a small crevice, MaxTrax are absolutely brilliant. You can bend these things with the full weight of the vehicle and they go right back to their shape. I gotta tell you, we've got 4 of these. We're gonna use these more than the winch, and it gives me that added level of confidence when we're off-road. And remember, we're by ourselves, so we need to be able to get out of any situation predominantly on our own. We've got a brand new, much more powerful main battery to run the vehicle. We have a ARB single compressor. Now, we're only running, our tire is only a 285 75/17, so that's like about a 34-inch tire. If I were to run a larger tire, I would want a dual chamber air compressor. But to tell you the truth, it's a pretty packed engine bay in there, so we could fit the single and it's going to be good enough for us. The air compressor allows us to, gives me the confidence to deflate my tires anytime I need to, and then quickly reinflate them. Now, a lot of guys will be running propane and run a hot water heater with a hot water tank to create hot water. Let's just say it's difficult to be able to go and fill those tanks. We lived in Central America for 12 years, and it's very difficult to fill a tank. You usually take an empty tank and you exchange it for another tank. And I'm telling you, their tanks are beaten up and they're 20 years old. So to be able to fill up your brand new overlanding tank, good luck, it's tough. So instead, what we've done is we have a Glind hot water heat, a heat exchanger. It is connected to the cooling system of the truck, and it goes through the heater core of the truck, so that as the engine heats up, is pulling heat away from the engine, your cooling system. We're taking that heat and we are heating water. So in other words, to have a hot shower, it's as simple as turning on the pump, turning on the vehicle for 5 minutes, and you've got hot water. Now that hot water is going to come out of our dedicated 813 Fabrications tank. That is 40 liters of fresh water that we get to use solely for showering. What that means is that we can go off grid for a week and stay fresh and clean. It's a pretty big deal for us. And I'm telling you, with the Glind hot water heat exchanger, it makes things super easy. You don't have to carry fuel. You can always have hot water. All right, at the back of the vehicle, there's a few pretty key components. One is the 813 Fabrications diesel heater. This has I believe it's a 8-liter diesel fuel tank, and it has a Webasto heater. So again, we're taking things out of the vehicle so that we have more space inside. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now, spare tire on the back, bag on the back usually for garbage, firewood, and things that we actually, dirty items we don't want inside the vehicle. The camper itself is a Alu-Cab Modcap. It opens with a container style hinge and opens up the rear space. Let's go ahead and lift the roof. Very simple, 2 pins. Now remember, let's just say you just got to camp, right? You just pulled in. How long does it take to set up your tent? There we go. What was that? 20 seconds? Was that 15 seconds? Gotta love it. Okay. To get in, we have our little stool. Very nice. Now, inside, very important to note, inside the bed platform, you just touch it and it goes up. Now, how easy is that? Within minutes, we've been able to pull up, we can have all the awnings out, we can have the tent up, and you're ready to either camp or start cooking. Everything has to be easy, otherwise we're not going to use it. Think of it that way. Everything has to be lightweight. Everything has to be so easy that you don't have to think about it. Now let's go in and take a look at a little bit of the interior. This you got to see because it's pretty awesome. Check out the interior. This is pretty wild. This is built by Fart Systems in Calgary. Yeah, I said fart. Fart Systems in Calgary. It pronounced correctly in German. According to the dictionary, it means drive. Drive systems. Alan and Joanne in Calgary build these amazing interiors and these cushions. And I'm telling you what, this is going to be the most comfortable pickup truck you'll ever be in. Now, as we go up, the ability to stand up in this vehicle fully, I'll show you, but you're going to miss me here. Here I am. I'm able to put my hand all the way up in this vehicle and I can't even touch the top. It's pretty incredible. We have an 85-liter Dometic fridge right here. How incredible is that? Here we have a cooktop that we're gonna run induction cooking. And quite honestly, we've got marine fans, we're installing AC. We're trying to make this a interior that feels like home, but you're on the road. The Philips Hue lighting complements the Alu-Cab lighting perfectly. We have a ton of storage. And again, the entire point of this vehicle is to be lightweight. This entire Alu-Cab system, I believe, weighs under 500 pounds. The entire interior of this thing weighs less than 300 pounds, including the fridge. You put all that into the back of a pickup, you add 2 people, you add 100 liters of water, you add a bunch of fuel, and you're coming in at a build that is entirely under approximately 1,200 pounds. It's incredible. And remember what I said before, and that is that we're trying to stay with as least weight as possible so we burn less fuel. And I gotta tell you, when you have less weight in your vehicle, it handles 1,000,000 times better. You know, everybody has reasons for doing their own builds. I didn't want a big camper. Maybe in 10 years I'll change my mind, but I wanted something that we could go around the world and drive through the narrow streets of the small towns, where we could go on those off-road tracks that those bigger vehicles can't. Even something as big as a full-size Tacoma, not a full-size Tacoma, a full-size Toyota. The full-size, I'm telling you, they're huge. They're absolutely huge. Mid-size, it seemed to work better for us. Now, let's take a look at the primary cooking area outside the vehicle. It's on the rear door. Inside these 2 panels, there's plenty of storage for pots, pans, dishes, but most importantly, we have a fold-down table. Excellent stainless steel cooking surface and a pull-out bamboo cutting board. Now, take a look at this. We've got the original and brand new Coleman 2-burner gasoline fuel stove. Gas, yeah. So cooking with gas allows me to use the 40 liters of fuel that I have on the roof in order to cook with. And to believe it or not, when you cook with gasoline, you actually can't smell it at all. This thing's incredible. They've been used since the 60s. Coleman's actually stopped making them as of last year. I got my hands on one of the last ones. This gives us the ability to cook anytime without the need of propane. And if for some reason our power system goes down for induction cooking, we've got gasoline cooking. It's that easy. It's a bit of a backup system as well. And of course, if it isn't easy to use, if it isn't easy to put away, we're never going to use it. 10 seconds, that's all we need. Okay, inside the vehicle, plenty of seating, right? We can lounge back. You can lounge back, be on your laptop. We got fans overhead. I'll put some B-roll in to show a little bit more of how all this works, right? But one thing I really wanted to show you was you can take these cushions, right? Let's get these cushions out of here. And right here, we have a cutting board. And check this out. We have an incredible sink. It folds down and it gives us underneath here fully filtered water. UV charcoal filtered water. I can pull up to a Mexican gas station, dump the hose from that gas station directly into my tank and have beautiful, tasty filtered water. It's actually... Okay, let's take a look at those side doors that open up, and I'm also going to open up the awning for you, quite honestly, because I'm out here in the blazing sun and I would like a little bit of shade. Let's take a look. As simple as 2 buttons and up she goes. Bug screens on all windows. Now that can easily be rolled up, and we have direct access to the inside. Now, before opening that, let's head out to the awning. If it's raining, you're stopping for a coffee on the side of the road, and you want to spend a little time outside, the awning is your absolute best friend. And very easily, let's take this out. We are going to walk this over, and we're going to clip it to the side. And 2 minutes later, we have an absolutely beautiful shaded area. Now let's open these doors again. How incredible is that? The awnings also have lights. Let's go ahead and turn those lights on. Awning lights. The lights go different colors. Let's stick with a red. It's going to give us less bugs at night. I tell you, I personally am trying to think of everything to make myself and Jennifer as absolutely comfortable as possible, essentially camping for the next 5 to 10 years. How's that all going to work? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what, based on your experience. I really love hearing this. I really honestly do. With your experience, tell me what you may have done differently. Tell me what maybe we still have time to do. In the next couple weeks, we're going to start our trip up to the Canadian Arctic, to Tuktoyaktuk, up in the Northwest Territories of Canada. And then we're going to be coming back down to Calgary to make a few tweaks, to put a few more things on, such as we're upgrading the brakes to a power brake kit. I can already feel that the weight of this thing needs stronger brakes. We're putting in a EcoFlow Wave 3 AC system in the back camper. But tell me, from your experience, what would you add? Thank you guys so much for watching not only this Tacoma World Tour. This is a dream of mine over the last 20 years that has been realized. I am super excited. I've put hundreds of hours of research into every single part into this build, The absolutely incredible team in Calgary over at Crave Automotive deserves the applause for the build. I didn't build this truck. I'm a producer and a marketer. I have no idea how to do the quality and precision of what their team has done, and I say thank you to Crave. I say thank you to Joanne and Alan at Fart Systems in Calgary, Alberta. They built the entire interior of the camper. They did such an incredible job. It is already super comfortable. We have got incredible parts from Alu-Cab on this vehicle, from Greenlane, from Glind, you name it. There's so much to go over on this vehicle. And keep in mind, I haven't used any of this stuff yet, and I'm not going to pretend that I have. We are just getting started, and so as we go, I would love to share with you how I feel about all these different parts and how these different systems and how they're working and how they've worked for us. Again, thank you very much for watching Lost and Found. Don't forget to subscribe. Come along for the adventure. If you're in for the truck stuff, come along for the adventure. If you couldn't care less about the truck stuff, but you just want to see two people enjoying their life, come along for the adventure. All I can say is that I've never been so excited in my life, and I can't wait to get started. I'm going to pack all this stuff up. Again, thank everyone for watching, and ask as much as you want in the comments. I love hearing it. I love hearing all the people who have absolutely no idea what this stuff is, and they're asking questions. I love it because you're showing interest. And I also love, I love it when guys have been doing this for 20 years and they tell me that I should have done it another way, because it opens up new perspectives that I've never thought of. Thank you guys.